Hi everyone, welcome to day 9 of PySpark learning series. So in today's video we are going to talk about lazy evaluation. So what is lazy evaluation, right? So as the description says, lazy evaluation means the Spark does not execute the transformations immediately when they are called. Instead, Spark build a logical execution plan called DAG and wait until an action is triggered. I believe like in on day 6 video when we were covering this RDD APIs, I have mentioned like there are two types of APIs. They are action and transformation. We have like briefly touched that, but now let us slightly deep dive and understand what are actions, what are transformation, how this plays a key role in this lazy evaluation. And before we go into that, right? So let us understand what is action, right? As it say, if an operation returns a result like collect, show, all these things, right, uh, to a driver or writes in a storage, it's an action. Now think about the image which we have discussed yesterday, right, on the day 8. That was about like how this happens. Like it comes to driver go to this to the cluster manager, and from there it goes to node, right? So what is an action? Action is something when there is something being returned to the driver, right? Not all the cases it returns. Suppose if it is show, collect and all, you are getting a result set, right? So we can, like in very high level, you can think that way. If there is something being returned, they are called action. And what is transformation? If an operation only define a new data set without execution, or like either most of the things, right? If you see a transformations like filtering or adding a column, these kind of things are not really returning something, right? It is doing some actions, correct? They can be called as transformations. I have provided the list in day 6 video in the description. I will add the same thing here in day 9 as well, so that like you will get an idea like what are the statement like what are the APIs comes under action, what are the those comes into transformations, right? Here I have given a small flow which is like I mentioned: filter, map and collect. Here if you are going to do an action, that is the same example which I will be showing that in Databricks on the other hand. So when you do a filter, you are not returning anything. When you do a map, you are not returning anything. But when you run this collect API, you are returning a result, right? So in this case, if you are going to run multiple APIs, your entire API is going to be executed when there is a correct statement is triggered. So how this is happening? Because that is where DAG or directed acyclic graph plays a role. It creates a execution plan behind the scene. So when you have this filter API and statements available, it say okay, I need to do the filter API activities before I run my collect. So it creates that plan, and that plan would be executed when the next action statement is being triggered. So we'll go into the Databricks and see how this is happening. Then there we will understand or experience how it plays a role. Yeah, so I have this, I'm into the Databricks window. I have already day lazy evaluation notebook open. I have already a cluster running for me, which everything is set so that like we don't waste time, right? So here you can see before we dive into that, right, I'll show you something like this. So if you see something like this, right, I'm using here markdown. It is not just for Python, SQL, Scala and R. You can do, you can also, if you wanted to write a summary between these cells, you can mention that. There you can use markdown. So you can also click show preview and make changes, right? So these kind of statement, when you put a percentage and you wanted to do this, right, these kind of statements are called magic statements, right? So I'm running, so that like I get something like a heading, right? So it's not our key topic today, but since I have written, I just thought of showing it. Okay, see here I have a RDD. So why I'm calling it why I say it is an RDD? Not because I named it as RDD. You can see I have used the parallelize as the command, right? Parallelize is something that help you to create your RDD, correct? So I'm creating an RDD which is having a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have these two transformation, right? That is like one is filtering, so I have a condition, and I also have a map, right? So these are the two things which I am doing, and then I am doing an collect statement, that is collect API, that is an action. So how we are calling this way, right? Like how we believe that okay, when you only click this collect, like when you only run this API as a collect, it will work. How did we take that decision? So first of all, let me run this and show you something interesting. I'm running. So the expectation is simple. It says Spark job executed. You can also see stage. So these are a little internal, but still it is good to see how this is working. So I clicked on view. You can see the DAG, right? Shows the graph of an RDD operation in a stage. An RDD inside each. A stage can run multiple operations and all. So this is giving you like the two steps which is done by DAG visualization, right? So this is more about like what is it and the time, all these kind of details, right? But what we wanted to know, okay, what I said it when we start the video initially, I said that okay, your transformation does not execute without an action, right? That's called lazy evaluation. So I'm responsible to prove that, correct? So now you agreed that my like job is executed. I also provided the result to you, right? So what I'll do, I'll comment this statement, this as well, otherwise I don't have a result, right? So I'm going to run this. So before I run, I'll tell this. As per my statement, these two actions should not be triggered, right? That means like this transformation and RDD, all the system should do is like it should create a DAG plan or execution plan that help you to trigger when there is a action. So unless and until it shouldn't be triggering anything, right? Cyclic, and there is nothing, right? There is no job executed, no information, right? It looked like okay, you just evaluated the result. So I'm going to the next window, then I'm clicking this, then you can see a Spark job, right? And it has these things, and it is giving you the same, right? Same as you have seen, the like parallelize is here, all these things are here, right? So now what I am trying to say, however, you had all these APIs here which is running, however, everything is executed or triggered when there is an action is triggered, correct? Or action API is used. So as a conclusion, what you have to understand, okay, like why, okay, we understood that transformations are not being executed, they are keeping that in memory, and when there is an action it is triggered, right? Now where does it play a role, correct? We got to understand that is what when we learn all these APIs, everything, we need to understand where we will apply, how we will use, right? So you need to, when you are going to optimize your Spark code tomorrow, you need to see like where and all it is being executed, right? And all these executions are necessary. So, and how long my DAG is, like do I need to split that into multiple, right? Those things like we can experience that in when we do this practice, we'll be learning that. But just that now you have learned a feature. That feature is that you can preserve your execution of a transformation until there is an action is triggered. So keep that in mind, so that like when you are going to next time onwards, when you are going to run an API, you got to keep in mind, okay, is this a transformation or is it an action? So when I am going to execute this, is it actually like executing something, or is it waiting for an action to be triggered, right? So those kind of very basic understanding would help you to take some decision while writing the best code. Okay, also you can explore this stage, and like now you know what is DAG, right? So what is DAG and all these things, you have like additional metrics, so filtering and all these things are here, right? So here you can see all these information. These things we'll talk more about when we are going to the advanced session and shuffling. Like when I was talking about transformations also, like there are two types of transformation. It's like one is kind of simple. They are like this kind of transformation can be done from one node itself, and like there are like complex type of transformation, like if group by and all, we need to understand the entire data set, and that is stored in multiple partitions, right? So it might require a shuffling. So those I'll categorize that and add it in the description, so that like you'll understand that. So I just added that as a statement, so that like you know why this is categorized, right? So that the description will give you all those information, but the agenda of this video is to give you an understanding what is lazy evaluation, and where we will use this, how this is going to help us in performance, and all these areas would be covering in the upcoming videos. Hope this help you to get a clarity about what is lazy evaluation, what is transformations, actions, what is the difference between both. Yeah, thank you for watching. Hope stay tuned for the next video. Have a good day.